This is going to be a mad one. What's going on? Why is my phone? Let me turn my phone on silent to her ass. Yes, people, welcome back to Danny AFC TV. I really don't expect this to be a stream that, guys, I've only just set it. Oh, God, bro, get that off for fuck's sake. Oh, it's only, all right, cool. Get it away from me. We've had internet problems in the yard. We've had a couple of situations which led on from the Tottenham game. It actually wasn't a box thing. It was an internet thing, even in the wonderful mists of Highbury. So, what's the first thing I need to do? I need to go to my stream and I need to just send it out there to like my group, etc. Hold on. What's the first thing I need to do? Yeah, I know how bad this is, guys. Let me try and get some people involved. Yes, we are live. What is good, people? Injury news, so far so good. Looks good on Declan Rice. Now, again, though, WB, my close friend, I did mention this last night. Not that a pagan ever watches me, but I gave him a big up because I said he was at the game when Saliba got injured. So I was like, why is everyone saying Declan Rice is back? You know, they're saying he's back for Bournemouth. How's he back for Bournemouth? Back injuries could go mad. And look at Saliba last season. Unless I was right, do you remember I said it could have been a conspiracy? But do you remember I said it was a conspiracy? He just wanted a new contract. Yeah, so I get worried when people talk about things like back injuries, etc. He's English. He's a bulldog. I think he'll be all right. Not so much has been said on Martinelli or Trossard, apart from none of them appear, as they say, to be serious. I still get very, very suspicious when any of these things are going on around Arsenal. So let me just, get my stream out there to a couple of people on the old WhatsApp, etc.
Saka's a doubtful both days.
Saka?
Yeah, it's a doubt for both days.
What, Bournemouth? Why is Saka a doubt now?
Because he's injured.
Go on, John Arby's just sent me something. I'm live, bro. I'm live. Hold on, who's with me, people? Just give me 1 second. And my phone is acting, as I said the other day, ever so strangely. Stephen Clapton. I don't know if I've already, not you. You're sitting right next to me, you can. Right, so sorry, people. Let's just try and get a few of the real ones in. Yui told me something today about Ollie Watkins, guys. So it does appear that we are linked with now Ollie Watkins and Ivan Toney. So first question from Danny AFC TV tonight. I'll ask WB the first thing. I'm sure he knows what's coming up. Who would you actually rather at Arsenal? Who would fit Arsenal system better? Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney? Now we're going to talk theoretically. If they were both available at £70 million this January, I'd like to know who you'd rather take or spend the £70 million on. We're talking cash money at this moment, no Nketiah swap. So WB, take it away. Who'd you rather?
Ollie Watkins.
Is there any reasons behind this thing?
How old is he?
Definitely younger than Toney. Toney's coming 29, I think, in March. Watkins, you can check that for me. I think he's 25, 24.
So he's still got a lot of years.
Okay. Ollie is an Arsenal fan.
So is Ivan.
Shouts out to Linda. Shouts out to John RB. So, John RB, who would you rather? Would it be Ollie Watkins or who I just said? Number one. That's the first question. Sorry, this is so organized, isn't it? And it won't let me go directly back to YouTube from WhatsApp. My phone has been acting up. I'm going to send this back to iPhone, to Free, whoever the fuck they are. Because something really weird, seriously, guys, is going on my phone. And you know what? I'll be real. I don't like it. And yeah, I haven't even been near Twitter all day, man. I don't know how I get so many followers and certain things. Do you know what I mean? When I don't even talk to people. Look, what's this? Follow back. I just ain't been here. Let me just put the link up. Live now. So sorry, people, man. I know, I'm terrible. Let's try and see if we can draw a couple of manies or whatnot into the stream. Let's just try and get a few of the local boys into the building. Send a couple of messages out. J Ben. Hold on, why'd you miss me? You fucker, you. I'm live, man. Let's get into the stream. No time wasting here. All right, guys, where are we? I want Ivan Toney, bro. Okay, any particular reason? See, I'm going to honestly go with shouts out to Joe. At this moment, guys, I don't know their stats on that. I think Steve was checking them. Remember, they've both come from championships. I'd like him to check like maybe 1 year in the championship, a little overall, and then how many Premier League goals respectively.
So Ollie Watkins has 56 goal contributions.
I don't want goal contributions at this moment.
Okay, so he's had
Sorry to say.
Okay.
So Stephen's going to tell me the stats. From
41 goals since 2020. So 2020, 2021, he's had 41 goals.
Okay, what does that mean roughly?
Premier League for Aston Villa. For Brentford, Championship.
All right, guys. So hold on. Before we get all WB massively confused, what I'm saying is, before we compare the stats, what I want to say is, hold on. Let me just get this out there. Do you know what? I'm not playing with no more buttons. Bollocks. Do you know what? If people join, they join. If they don't, they don't. Watkins, for me, from everything I've seen of Ivan Toney and Ollie Watkins.
41 goals in 115 games.
So 41 in 115?
Yeah.
Wow, so that's almost that's about 1 in 3, because 40 in 120 would be 1 in 3. All right, that's Ollie, yeah?
Yeah.
In Premier League?
Premier League.
All right, and let's see the other fucker. Don't you dare go anywhere. Hi, Danny. How you doing, Joe? Mine isn't working, so hold on. My X. What's your X?
So
isn't working, so I'm not receiving.
In 66 games, in 2
I see.
Years,
yeah.
He has scored 32 goals.
Ivan Toney.
Yeah.
32. So, and what in 16?
1 in every 2.
So that's 1 in 2. Right. There's one thing. I don't know if Ollie Watkins does take penalties. Some people count these sorts of things, but he is the free kick and penalty taker there. You know what I mean? These things do count. I wonder out of how many 30 certain goals was actually free kicks or penalties. Anyway, let's not ramble into it. Like, do you know what I mean? Like statisticians. The first question I'm asking: who is the more basically suited to Arsenal? Do you know what I mean? It's all well saying Harry Kane could have went to Newcastle anywhere in the world. Some people are just special. Haaland, for me, could go anywhere. He could go Middlesbrough and still get that team fighting at the top of the Championship. Not many strikers are like that. You know what I mean? Gabriel Jesus, imagine him at a Middlesbrough or at Aston Villa, a struggling team. He'd be terrible. Imagine Nketiah at an Aston Villa or a Brentford or a Sheffield United. They'd all be struggling, mate. They'd all be struggling. But if you put a Haaland in at Brentford or whatever, no story. So what I'm saying is, I don't think Ollie Watkins or Ivan Toney. Hey, my mate Phil sent me the link. I'm a big Arsenal fan. Hello, Heather. This sounds funny. We've been hearing Heather from the Chippy, I think. Yeah, Phil talks very highly of you, girl. Where is Phil this evening? Lee Akers, good evening, brother. Now, as an Ivan Toney fan, this is the first question, brothers. We have been now linked pretty hotly. Apparently, I've been hearing, Yui's put it on the group as well, Arsenal have opened the talks with Ollie Watkins. That would end what Right Rabbit said last night. Arsenal had done a deal, blah, 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 in the summer. There's also been a statement come out from Arteta, allegedly saying he doesn't need a striker. Something like that I was saying on last night's stream. Well, last January, he bought Jacob, he bought Trossard, he bought Jorginho, but we only had one fit striker. Do you remember Jesus was sort of injured in Nketiah, then Nketiah got injured just as Jesus was coming back. So at some points last season, we only had one striker, and it didn't seem to be a problem for Arteta then. We could have had 3 strikers this season. Balogun, but again, he didn't want that. I'm not sure. Would you rather Watkins? Now, for me, Watkins, Stephen has just checked. WB has just checked, yeah? It looks like Ivan's got like 30, 33 goals in 60, 66 games for Brentford. That's like a 1 in 2.
32 goals in 66.
So that's like a 1 in 2 record. Ollie Watkins has like 40 in about 115. About a 1 in 3 record. Yeah? Even though none of them are exactly what I feel. Like Arsenal, like we've got Gabriel Jesus and Nketiah. I think Balogun could be as good as any of the 2 strikers you're talking about. I find it weird you want to sell Balogun for 38 mil, but then desperately want a striker. Do you know what I mean? So my first instinct says, guys, we probably don't want a striker in January. You know what I mean? And if something amazing happens, like we sell a Ramsdale or a Party, you know what I mean? A sell that's good money, or something massive comes in for Saudi for Gabriel Magalhaes at the back. I don't know. Things could change. But at the end of the day, we spent 200 mil in the summer. Rice was necessary. Still delighted with Timber. But that's 65 mil on Havertz. That could have been a striker. That's Ivan Toney or Watkins' money, respectively. Give or take 5 or 10 mil. He didn't go for Ivan Toney in the summer or Watkins. We know Ivan Toney was obviously banned. I work at a chippy. Phil usually comes in on a Friday. Lovely. Well, Heather, I hope you've just subscribed to the channel. I will be going in and check. I think I was on 1,888. So I expect to say 89 now. Arteta is over the moon with Eddie. And this is another fear, bros. It does look this way. And for me, as I answered last night, I think Craig was definitely here with me last night. Joe, I think, was here. WB was in the house, but he could be oblivious. I said we had 2 strikers last year, and I believe that might have lost us the league. Their lack of goals. He didn't address it in the summer. He bought Havertz, and with the intention to play him in central midfield. So I don't believe striker was on the list. Now, if you believe what you're hearing from, I think it's Fabrizio Romano, Stephen, I think said it as well. Where did you get that information about? Arteta says we don't want a striker.
Yeah, I think he said it in an interview.
Apparently, Arteta said it in an interview. He doesn't want a striker. Right now, but doesn't get much right. He certainly doesn't, bro. That was on the tip of my tongue. You know what I mean? About the Ivan Toney bit, like again. But White Rabbit did say, wasn't White Rabbit the guy that said we got that Simons? Simons was coming from PSV. I don't know where he ended up. Did he go back to PSG? He went somewhere else. And your Savalois, hello. I love it. How much are the chip buddies? They're going up that these days, you know what I mean? See, I think he would bring a physical edge, something different off the bench. But, mate, again, he's not that great. He's 28, mate. You know what I mean? Never really been thought about to play internationally. No big teams ever wanted to sign him. You know what I mean? I don't like guys that are 28. No. Arteta said we don't need to buy a striker. Yes, I'm just commenting that now. Craig just said it. No, Craig just commented on it as well. Nothing's loading. There's nothing on your screen. Look. Yeah, mate. That could be a smoke screen. Craig, that could be the classic of smoke screens. You know what I mean? We don't want a striker, and then in January, the first thing we do is go out and get a striker. But again, my feeling tells me, unless he's all of a sudden, and there could be something. And the reason why I think we could be after a striker, Nketiah seems to be starting over Jesus. We'll see who starts up front tomorrow. I hope it's Havertz. But if he starts Jesus tomorrow, I reckon Bournemouth, that means Nketiah starts. Do you know what I mean? With a lack of left wingers the other day, Martinelli and Trossard both been out. We're forced to obviously put both strikers out. So again, unless he's upset, like, you know, when he gets upset with someone, they go. Tierney, Tavares, they have to go. Party will be the next to go. Hello. Or Shrine, I love it. Had fish and chips for a long time. May treat Barbara at the weekend. Lovely. Here we go again. Haters all like this. Slot, get Havertz, no goal or assist yet. This assist, sorry. Exactly. But brother, to be honest with you, again, even though me and you try to look at the positive spin on this, because we know deep down there's a good footballer in him. We see him before he went Chelsea. We see what Chelsea does to players. Do you know what I mean? They'll do it. The Gilchrist, the Conor Gallagher, probably Levi Colwill. We all see what's happening with Mudrak. They'll ruin the striker, what's his name? Nkuku. They'll ruin Jackson. They ruin people. They ruined Fernando Torres. They didn't get a tune out of Shevchenko. Man, Chelsea are just Chelsea, innit? They ruin people. So again, even though, yeah, deep down in my heart, I always knew it was a waste of money and terrible and blah, blah, blah. Like UE, we thought maybe there was a different plan. Maybe a striker. Maybe the guy that took Nketiah's place, the backup to Jesus. You know what I mean? But it's never worked out like that. And I doubt he'll even play as a striker tomorrow. He'll probably play as a central midfielder because Arteta doesn't like to admit he's wrong, whether it's with Ben White or whatever. He's going to play him tomorrow, I reckon, as a central midfielder. Suleiman is from Turkey. Luton Town will get more points and Havertz scores goals this season. Exactly. This is the thing, which confuses me. Do you know what I mean? Why did Arteta want that? Where was the role? You know what I mean? He was so enthusiastic to sell and drop Thomas Partey. It certainly does with old fish and chips. Man, that Suleiman, we own everything. Nice one. Go on. Shouts out to the Suleiman crew. the Arifs, etc. That is exactly the case. A fish supper and a can of Vimto sounds great. Vimto, you know. I've got a kebab shop in the village. Good evening, Phil. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda, your pal's here, mate. I have. Hello, Philippe. Hello, Phil. Decided to show myself eventually. Love it. Have you taken Phil's sausage? Hold on. H. Have you taken Phil's sausage in a batter before? Ramsdale will return tomorrow. It's the most natural thing. He has to. Didn't you hear what Thomas Frank said? He went, Arsenal, I don't believe, have asked for permission for Raya to play tomorrow. Because you know you can ask for permission when it's the Loanese club. He said we'd refuse immediately. So Ramsdale will go back and go. Do you know what I mean? Martinelli out for 6 weeks. There you go. And Danny wanted the traditional winger. And everyone thought I was just being horrible to Trossard. With you both, I don't think there is a player in Havertz. Well, there certainly was once upon a time, bro. I'm going to be honest with you. Just like I was enthusiastic to Mudrak, but he doesn't look so great at Chelsea now. What can I say, mate? Chelsea do this to people. Seriously. Sterling, even though he's looked all right this season, he ain't making him top of the league, but you know what I mean? I've seen many good players go Chelsea, bros, and I just don't know what it is, innit? Okay, and I agree with you. He is useless. Simple as that, mate. And a waste of money. And my heart did know it. And I knew we'd done 65 mil when really we need a striker. We need a winger. What I didn't know what they were going to do to us, though, mate, was play him as a central midfielder. What is all that about? Is this the new age as in young, unexperienced managers? Look, Ten Hag was doing it. And I don't want to say he's young and inexperienced, but fuck it. He only come from Holland. He's in the big league now, Man United. Even though he had a great season last year, where he should have been buying a Rice to say, though, he was buying Mount to play him alongside fucking Casemiro. I called that at the start of the season. I'm no Man United fan. Havertz Junior get up should be released, not sold. Well, number one, they should never have been bought or given new contracts. Yeah. And Jorginho was self-explanatory. 12 million. He goes for free at the end of this year. He has a few times, but orders a stake. I'm unsure on Toney, bro. Havertz at 22 had a better career. Exactly. And that's what I mean. Toney's 28. And who the fuck is he? You know what I mean? I didn't know him at Peterborough. I didn't know him at Newcastle. And I've only heard of him now at Brentford. What, the last 3 years from when he was 25? Nah, mate. Ian Wright come into the game late. He come in at 21. But, nah, mate. Not at all. As for Ollie Watkins, I just think he's a guy that, you know what I mean, is a trier. He's good. Do you know what I mean? But again, apart from Harry Kane, England ain't blessed with mad amounts of international strikers. You know what I mean? That should be the clue, mate. He does more for us than Havertz has done and will do going forward. See, yeah, possibly. But here's my other scare. People play to his strengths at Brentford. I'm not sure we're going to change our style of play for Toney. And if he was the kind of guy, say like Havertz, that doesn't hit the ground running at Arsenal, I could see that being a 60, 70 million waste. And bro, in 2 seasons' time, when we all realise how shit he is, and he ain't Premier League or Champions League or international level, do you know what I mean? All I'm trying to say is, Lee, if you're not really international or anything at 28, you know what I mean? I'm not so sure about you. Do you know what I mean? I'll be honest with you. I don't think we will. But again, Robs, there's certain players that could leave this club. I've been saying to Lee, to you, to WB, to UE, and it's like no one's hearing me. Guys, Pep Guardiola wants our little winger, Dewberry. Dewberry is out of contract at the end of the season, yeah? And from what I'm hearing, he's waiting to see his first team opportunities. And Wari, I'm hearing, in 6 months' time, he'll decide if he's staying at Arsenal. And Wari never signed a new deal like people thought. And Wari's still on his scholarship as a centre forward, and he's crap for us at central midfield. Yeah, I get that. And again, Lee, I would never have bought him. Ever at the start of the season. Do you know what I mean? Question Danny, what lineup will Arteta go with tomorrow? I don't know. Let me do this in two parts. Here's my lineup. Ramsdale in goal. That Reece Walters at right back. Tommy Yasu at left back. Don't laugh, but I don't want to play Saliba or Gabriel. And there's no holding or no other central defender. So it's Jacob and it's El Neni at centre back. Central mid, I want Emil Smith Rowe, Jorginho, and Wari. Left wing, I want Dewberry. Right wing, Nelson. Up front, Havertz. Again, you'll think I'm disrespecting the competition, but Dewberry and Wari could walk away from this club for free. And I don't want to be playing any defenders that are in the first team. White, Zinni, Saliba, or Gabriel. We're one defender injury away from a fucking disaster. That could spread out. Massive, bros. Massive. But again, the super fans let him get away with it. And if you hear them on Twitter or other social media, Facebook, if Arteta backs him, so do I. You've got the momentum. Liverpool will go weaker. Do you know what I mean? They've got bigger fish to fry this season. And sorry, to answer Craig's question, he's going to go weaker, mate, but not quite. Maybe Walters, I don't know. Maybe Jacob, but he won't play Nwari, he won't play Dewberry. I have a feeling he'll play Jesus up front. If he plays Jesus up front, yeah, that's the clue why we want Ivan Toney or Watkins, because that means Jesus is now the number 2 striker. Eddie, for me, is his number 1 striker at the moment. You know what I mean? With all of his 2 goals so far this season. I think you can. Scored 20 league goals last season for Brentford. Okay, exactly. But Brentford do play to his strengths, you know what I mean? 12 of those goals, I think, was from open play, and 8 was either free kicks or penalties. So from open play, bros, and I don't want to disrespect penalties, but for me, he got like 12 goals, if you don't include the penalties. 12 league goals. I don't think he got injured, you know what I mean? And that's everyone thinking he had a great season. Take them penalties away, mate. He got 12 goals. So what I'm saying is, all right, 12 goals might mean definitely 20 or 25 at Arsenal with his assist, with his free kicks and penalties. But again, I'm not convinced. And the first thing it is, it's not even his league record. It's, if you told me there was a player in Serie A and he's 28 and I've only heard of him for last season or 2, guys, there's alarm bells ringing for me. Toney or Jesus. Here's one way to answer this. Pep Guardiola bought Gabriel Jesus, didn't he? Or did he? Did he buy Jesus or was he already there?
I think he bought him.
Check that, please. What I'm saying is, unless I'm wrong on that, Guardiola definitely wouldn't buy Ivan Toney. That's what I'm saying. There's levels out here. Hence why he got rid of Jesus. Did he?
Yeah.
He did, yeah?
Yeah.
So Pep Guardiola did sign Jesus, but then he got rid of him. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, that's the kind of answer. Jesus will look better than Real Madrid's, the Barcelona's, the better teams, isn't it? Toney, I'm not so sure. Good evening, Danny, my brother. Big up to the show. Ollie Watkins all day, mate. Come on, you Gunners. Now, again, for me, he fits into the system better. He's got 1 and 3 at Villa. It really doesn't mesmerise me. How old is he? 25? How old is Ollie Watkins?
Ollie Watkins is 27 years old.
No, mate. See what I mean? Ollie Watkins is the next one, 27. What's he been doing for the last 9 years of his career? Rooney was 16, mate. Wayne Rooney probably done more by the time he was 18th birthday than these guys have done in their careers. Nah, man. They're both 27, licking 28. Fuck them. We signed Ian Wright when he was 27. This age business is a load of nonsense. But he was at Crystal Palace still scoring goals, played in an FA Cup final. Do you know what I mean? And I hear you. And Ian Wright cost $2.5 million with all respect. You know what I mean? And even though it's hard to prove until Ivan Toney plays for Arsenal, I don't think Ivan Toney's fucking right or left foot is good enough to grace Ian Wright's fucking doormat. When I say age, bro, I talk about everything being realistic. Sell-on value. Do you know what I mean? Where's the sell-on value in Toney? 28. You keep him for 3 years. He's 31. If he has 3 good years, bro, that's one thing. What if he has 3 fucking shitters? You know what I mean? Ollie Watkins, 27. Bro, I heard of Arda Güler when he was 17. Turkish man never heard of Arda Güler. I know it's a bit of a weird example, but if you're good, bros, even if you're from Hackney and wear a hat and bandana and smoke fucking weed all day, I know a good football when I see one, or Arda Güler, la la la. I'm not saying you have to follow me or listen to me. I'm just saying I've never come on this channel saying, guys, like I did, which he always says to me, Danny, from the start of last season, you said about Rice. Yeah? And as I said to UE, it's because I knew what we needed. A guy that could manage a game. And that was the only bit I think UE, with all respect, and he gets it now because he's watched Rice in an Arsenal shirt. That's the difference from Rice and a hothead like a Xhaka or Partey who just wants to go missing. You know what I mean? Possibly. Do you know what I mean? But again, Jesus, does he pass the ball on the floor and keep the game moving as nicely? Or does he slow the play down like Oliver Giroud? I'm just saying. A lot of our fans were buzzing with the Havertz signing. I wasn't buzzing at all. Like, what do you want me to say? My mother's ashes, my daughter's life, grandson's life. I was not buzzing. I tried to think, is this the striker? That's all I thought. Is this a striker? Because we don't want to spend 100 million on Osimhen or enter a debate for Harry Kane or anyone else that was going around. That Kolo Muani in the summer. We were just intent on selling the striker. Lincoln tomorrow, I think we'll win the cup this season. Maybe. Again, factually, I don't know. He scored 30 last year. Stephen? So sorry. Hey, go and check how many of Harry Kane's things were 30 last year with penalties. I take your point. I take your point, bros. But Harry Kane would score 30 every year. They do all count. What I'm saying is, if he signed in January and Saka carried on taking the penalties, bros, I don't know. I don't think 12 in a whole season for Brentford is that great. He will be Arsenal's best striker. Okay, cool. And it isn't that I'm trying to be negative. Do you really think he's that good, Craig? Go and look at his stats properly, bros. For a guy just turning 28, who's banned from football at the moment because he likes to bet against his own teams, losing. When he already has. I don't know why would. No, bros. No, you're missing my point. I'm just saying. Someone said to me, "Who's better, Jesus or Toney?" And I'm putting it in a Sesame Street way, like a big Sesame Street alphabetical letters. Bro, there's levels to footballers out here. Like I said to someone the day we signed Ben White, Guardiola would never pay 50 million for Ben White. Do you know what I mean? Hold on. Bro, City are miles ahead of us. Toney is our level. Possibly, but I want to get to the next level. And that's why Man City are the level above. Because they buy the level above. You know what I mean? Sometimes you've got to buy the level above. And for the first time since the Kronkers have come to this club, yeah? I like the signing of Ozil. I like the signing of Sanchez. But Declan Rice, 105 mil for a guy that doesn't assist, doesn't score goals. But it was so what we needed. A guy that is going to be England and Arsenal captain. A true inspirational leader. A guy that will never let you down. Will never go missing in a game. Will never feign an injury and have to go off. Yeah. So, bro, but hold on. And that's one thing I'm going to disagree with you, Jean RB. What a load of bullshit, brother. Especially from someone that I love as much as you. Bro, if you want to get to the next level, bros, we've got 11 decent footballers. This is one thing. This is why me and you always agree on a lot.
That's Harry Kane's stats.
Now it's the next level time, bros. If you want to go to the next level, I'd rather keep no striker or just have 2 strikers, the same 2, until we buy a good enough striker. Appearances 3, 22, 13.
All stats done.
Oh, goals 2, 13. goals per match, headed goals, 33.
But that was his whole career. That's
Yeah.
not just
So
like-
Lee, I'm gonna disagree with you because bros, in his whole career, he scored 320. No, it's 213 goals. I think this is Premier League in 320 appearances. Bro, 30 of them were penalties. I don't know. Harry Kane and Ivan Toney, you know, I mean, a different kettles of fish, Leokers. I'm not trying to wind you up. Please come back to the chat, Leokers. Ivan Toney will never be linked with Bayern Munich. I don't think they probably will be now in January. We are on boxes now. Danny and I both said that Havertz when he signed. Both not happy or disappointed right now. They're very disappointed. No, what it was because we imagined what I can't speak for you, Arby, but I actually thought he was going to be a striker. He weren't getting ahead of Odegaard. I said about the Vieira, the Trossard, the Emil Smith-Rowe, where are they going to get minutes if he's considered as a number 10? So I thought a striker. You said possibly he could play on the wing. I didn't get that. He's not a winger. But the central midfield just blew my mind. Big up my mate WB, as always. How many wins will Arsenal get from our 6 games coming up? Bournemouth away, we should win. Brentford, I don't know. You have to see the lineup. Man City is a draw at best. Lons, I say we win. And then what is it? Seville and Chelsea. Seville draw. Again, bros. Imagine if one defender come out now. Saliba, Gabriel. Even if it was Gabriel, I'd much rather it Gabriel than Saliba, yeah? Even Lieko said Saliba was the only guy that could come out the North London derby with his head held high. Yeah? Nobody told you I was a guy I'd have made captain, even at 18, 19, 20 at this club. I know a footballer from a mile away. How many wins from the next 6? 4, 2 draws. I said right from the go, Havertz was a disastrous signing. Yeah, he did. And for once, I tried to be a little bit positive, even though deep down, Lee, all you had to have done was sit in the same room with me for 10 seconds. Excuse me, guys. All for 10 seconds. And you're a deep down known. You know what I mean? WB knew I didn't want Havertz. I thought it was disgusting. I spoke to Chelsea fans. They were pissing themselves. But I thought, you know what? Maybe as a striker, in this new exciting brand of football we were playing. Okay, here's another one then. I heard the journalist speaking on Sky Sports News last night, the newspaper thing, back pages. And they were like, oh, what a great signing Toney will be for Arsenal. But then they said, will he be good? Tottenham apparently want him as well. They were like, nah, not with this new exciting brand of football that Ange Postecoglou is playing. He won't work in their system in Tottenham. Why not? Not wearing a football top. Does it look funny? Do you know what? A couple of people have commented to me today on the sort of all blue, and then I further done it with the old ripped jeans effect. You see the old ripped jeans, showing the old flesh. Yeah, you know what I mean. Well spotted, Phil. Wearing a football top. It's not the next level for me due to the manager. How are we going to hit the next level? Apparently, he signed a new contract before Christmas. The next level never coming. Well, bros, again, certain players are just dogs. Certain people just want to play in London. You know what I mean? Thomas Partey was an everyone when it was rumoured he was going to come to. So sorry, guys, the Premier League. It was always rumoured he wanted to go to London. Arsenal's a big draw for a lot of people, guys. Look at Man United. Why are people still be signing for Man United? They ain't been good in years. So yeah, bros, Victor Osimhen is at Napoli. With all respect, he would sign for Arsenal.
He's taking Napoli to court. There's a video that they posted today.
What videos?
So they're calling him a coconut.
Oh God! See what I mean? They're being racist.
They're literally calling him a coconut like that.
So exactly. Hold on.
I'll show you the video.
But anyway, Arsenal could have went for Harry Kane. Harry Kane was an Arsenal fan.
This is the video. This is their video.
Basically, I don't know what's going on in Italy. I know they're racist, but yeah, he misses this, I think. He's had a really bad start to the season. Yeah, they're already mugging off. Anyway, shut up, sorry. They're already mugging off Victor Osimhen. But we won't go and try and tap up someone like that. Why would you go for Toney, 28. Watkins, 28. When Osman is better and probably younger. We're finished. I'll take it out. You taking a piss, Daly? You taking a piss? Edu out. Are you being serious? Or are you just entertaining me? It isn't even that, bros. As I'm saying, that's why I said last night, Lee. The next 2 windows are so vital, mate. I've been saying, yeah, we need a centre back now. Holding's gone, Ben White in the centre back, Osman Diamonde. But he wants to sell Gabriel Magalhaes. But let's forget that, Billy. Central midfield. Is he actually going to sort that out in January if we have money? Word is, he's saying of his own mouth that he doesn't need a striker. He didn't need a striker last January when we was in a title challenge. Yeah? There was no Watkins, Ivan, Toney talk then. So I'm not so sure he's after a striker now, mate. Unless he's had a fallout with Gabriel Jesus. What do you think? If Jesus starts tomorrow, I think he's on the naughty boy step. And that means Nketiah, I reckon, starts on Saturday against Bournemouth or Sunday. I've lowered my standards at this football club due to this manager. Don't scare what I'm going to be upset and angry. But I'm sure, brothers, in Spain, there's got to be an upcoming kid. But even when the kid, if it comes to an Endrick or whoever in Brazil, we don't seem to be that fast on it, bros. And again, we seem to go for players that not many people want. If 5 clubs all come in for Ivan Toney and Watkins, and we was genuinely interested in January, bro, we'll probably drop out. Here's the other thing, Nketiah. Even if Brentford would entertain such a deal, yeah? Bros, Brentford don't play people 100 grand a week. I bet if you look right now, I bet Ivan Toney don't earn 100 grand a week. I want them all out. Very stylish, Danny. Thank you so much, my brother. There you go, then. Penalty merchant. Oh, Harry Kane. Come on, bros. There's different levels out here. Harry Kane is unbelievable. Look at Bayern Munich, bros. He scored more goals than games. Do you know what I mean? I never liked him being a Spurs player. But at least now he's at Bayern Munich, we can admit how good he is, bros. Oh, God. Danny Martin Odegaard made 18 passes all game against Tottenham. Simply not good enough. And that's our captain. But again, do you need to relieve him of the whole captain's role? I've said this. Is it too much responsibility? Do you know what I mean?
Evan Ferguson or Ivan Toney?
There's one. Again, I'd rather go for, even though Brighton are cunts to do business with. Look how they dealt with us with Trossard and White, so we'd get knocked for about 269 million. But I'd rather go for Evan Ferguson. But he's another one that scares me. Because I've looked at him close up. And I know someone at 18 is going to be raw, but yeah, this guy for me, if he was at Brentford or someone else, he wouldn't be doing as well. I don't know. Brighton are playing at this moment a really beautiful brand of football, bros. If you go and look, yeah, and if you don't, go watch your phone for 10 minutes. Bro, go and look at Man United versus Brentford, yeah, at Old Trafford. Brighton this season. They murked them, bros. So, bros, this is what I'm saying, John Arbin. I didn't say I'll upset with your comment earlier because you said blah, 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 or we're not that team. So that's what I'm saying, John Arbin. I'd rather save the money. Don't waste 52 million in January on Jacob, Jorginho. Because in a time of crisis, when we've got injuries, what is Jacob, Jorginho, or Trossard doing now? I know it's out of order to say this, but Trossard's injured. Jorginho's shit, and Jacob is shit.
In 26 games, he scored 10 goals.
Who?
Evan Ferguson.
That's very good so far. So that's what I mean. I'd rather see someone young. Lee Akers, you still there? Because you said, this age thing's a myth. Bros, I'd rather the 18-year-old from Brighton. If Ivan Toney is worth 70 mil, but you could get that Ferguson from Brighton at 100 mil, I'd pay 30 mil and get an 18-year-old and not someone that's coming 28 with no resale value. Do you get that? Do you get that, basically? Guys, I'm going to quickly get in some bits of news with that, what you're saying about January. Exactly. Save the money. If you can't get the targets you need, bros, seriously. Like, we had to probably wait for Declan Rice when we made that silly bid, when I said the fake bid for Sasado in January, and then never went back, the 60 million bid, and then we went back to 65. I knew we never wanted Sasado. I told everyone in the group, you weren't there at the time. Lee Akers, UE, WB, I remember, innit?
Yeah.
I said, we'd never go back to Sasado. I was proved right. Because how do you go from Caicedo to Trossard and then Jacob and Jorginho? I don't know, mate. I mean, we've also seen how bad Jorginho was, but you could see that them cracks at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? He aged very badly, that guy. And to point that and to round that all off properly, where's the Akers? I want you to want to just find all point me softly. Seriously, it's important that you answer me. Come back here. And you Gooner Forever Craig and you Jean Arby. This is why I'd sacrifice. If it meant selling Ramsdale and bringing another number 2, taking a risk on a Matt Turner, a Gavin Bazzuno at Southampton, sweet. If it means selling Thomas Partey because he's 30, 31 and we're only going to play him at right back, sweet, sell him. Fat boy Emil Smith-Rowe, it's a shame. Hey, Lender, sell him. He's not getting minutes. See how he plays tomorrow, even if he starts, but I'm sure he will. And it'll be interesting to see where he starts in Emil Smith-Rowe. Will he put him out of his comfort zone or will he play him somewhere that he wants to play, attacking mid? We might get Toney instead of you. Well, again, with all respect, at 28, I think this is why he's doing it, bro. As I told you, and this way I don't know why I don't get respect and have loads more viewers and subscribers. Yui, anyone, John Arby, do you remember me saying about a week ago today? I went, guys, it will come out in the next few hours or few days, sorry, that Ivan Toney is asked to leave. It hasn't come out like that, but there's all the Arsenal and Chelsea speculation. Since I said Ivan Toney is officially asked to leave, then Thomas Frank has been on Sky saying, he's worth this much money. I'm always right. He's asked to leave and they're keeping it on the D-low. And I'm more out of respect, because the fans are going crazy behind the scenes at Brentford. They're like, you're a fucking cheat. You've been banned, and now you're saying you want to leave. 3 games in a row. Well, yeah, as they said, the only reason why they stalled on that was because it was the timing of the contract. It was always going to be done. Exactly. He's 28, mate. Abandoned deal with that money. What have you been doing since you were 18 years old? Do you know what I mean? Lee Akers bit back at me about Ian Wright coming to the game or cut to Arsenal 27. I don't know his factually. I bet Ian Wright scored more goals in his life than Ivan Toney will. I've just never liked a football that blows up out of nowhere. Do you know what I mean? If you're good when you're young. Like the old saying, if you're good enough, you're young enough, or you're old enough, whatever. Exactly, real talk. Do you know what I mean? And which point was that to? What did I say? Sorry, Robert. Arteta loves Nketiah, doesn't he? Seems he has something in him no one else does. Isn't that, bros? Again, bros, it's back to the Ben White. It's back to Jorginho. It's all this. I'm not trying to frustrate you, Lee, yeah? Because I love you and everyone else on my channel. Bro, he won't admit a mistake like the Havertz. I've brought him in as a central midfielder. So he won't really consider Thomas Partey there. Unless, obviously, it was desperate. Thomas Partey was told he can leave in the summer. And we just couldn't get the money that we thought we could. Like we thought we could get for Tavares. All you boys in the group saying, 30 mil, Tavares, Forest. It was 0. 0 mils. A small loan fee. Tierney, no money. Then we started selling the other players. The holdings, which we probably would have held on to, because he was one of his little favourite spies as well, that would always be in the camp. But we had to sell them. Turner probably wasn't a part of the plan, even though it's worked out lovely of Raya. But we had to sell him, because no one was offering money and the millions of pounds we wanted for the other players that we wanted to sell. The Balagons at the time, because we wanted 70. And what did I tell you you'd go for? I said he would go for about 30. Excuse me, guys. I said he would go for about 35 mil. He went for between 35 38. I was right. So it's just I see it coming, Lee. And even if signings, bros, do you know what I mean? There's signings out there. There's signings all across the world, bros. There's no excuses. Exactly. Make Christ captain. Why are we delaying? What, because you don't want to hurt Odegaard's feeling? He's got his new contract. It's signed. I thought you were ruthless. You'll drop our Ramsdale at the drop of a hat. So show the ruthless streak. Be consistent with it, Lee. As you said, sorry, that's what you were saying, Nketiah. It's because he gave him $100 grand a week, mate. Yeah? So he doesn't look like a fool. Yeah? And no one would have given us the £38 million that we got for Balogun. Balogun deep down knows it. And Rice is the captain, really, for me. Ignorant, arrogant, sorry, Arteta is accountability needs to be had. Exactly. And that is one thing. That is why Mourinho went for his life hating Wenger, because he said he wasn't accountable. Top four wasn't a trophy, even though this is a different kind of worms. And but it isn't even give up, Rubs. The painful thing is, Lee, we could have been so much nearer in the summer. Rice, fantastic, yeah? You know what I mean? Timber, fantastic. But what was the Havertz and just piss off Partey? All right, Partey eventually got injured, yeah? But again, there should have been a next plan. We all knew Jorginho wasn't up to it. I wanted Xhaka out. But come on, not to just see Havertz fucking go in there. And now that he's playing terrible, it's time to admit it. And we haven't really got now an orthodox central midfielder to go in there. We're playing Vieira. God knows what will happen tomorrow and Saturday. Because I don't want Rice to be rushed back. And I said this as well, Lee. It's going to end up being too much for Rice. What if Rice got injured? Fuck me. We're going to have a midfield that just gets walked through, my brother. Walked through, I say. So again, Lee, if we're a serious club, we must go for a backup left back because Zinni can't do it all season. If we're going to sell Ramsdale, which I don't want because you need two brilliant players in every position. So that goes against what I'm saying. And WB was saying, but to me today, he was all trying to get out of the bath and I'm almost like banging the door. But what do you mean? If it means selling Ramsdale, Partey and Emil Smith Rowe and getting what, 60, 70, 80, 91, say 120, 120 mil. Yeah? And we use that 120 mil to go and get Osman Diamonde, 60. If you don't want Ivan Toney so bad, say 60. That 120 mil, you could get Osman Diamonde, a brilliant centre back, and we need one if Saliba gets injured or Gabriel, and we need a striker. I'd spend the money different personally, but we can finance it within the club, and that's what pisses me off. That's why, again, the acres, without stressing the point, the next two windows are so vital. I don't want to see no more Fabio Vieiras, 35 mil bollocks. I don't want to see Kia Havertz at 65 mil. I don't want to see Trossard. Do you know what I mean? What the fuck is that? And everyone at 29. And let me just address the age thing, Lee. I want to ask you a straight question. And I believe you'll see what I mean about the age thing. Would you rather spend £70 million on Ivan Toney? Because it's probably going to cost 70 mil, especially if any other club in the world comes in. Or would you rather spend up to 100 million, because you know what Brighton are like, for Evan Ferguson? Already his goal scoring record is already better. What was it, WB? 30 games, you said what? 12 goals or something?
Yeah, something like that. 12
goals in like 28 games, Lee. It's better than both Ollie Watkins or whatever. And he's only 18. But that is a massive for us, bros. I'm only saying it because he's 18. You could sell him in 5 years, 18, 19, 20, 21. He'll only be 23. I'm being realistic. And Brighton can't ask over 100 mil. Not I'm saying that he's worth 100 mil, this Evan Ferguson. But if you have to pay 70, 75 for Ivan Toney or Watkins, fuck that bollocks. I spend 25 more and go and get myself Evan Ferguson or Victor Osimhen. Every player is a risk to a certain degree. But at the end of the day, if you play safe with certain things, like again, if someone's 18 and they play international football every time, because obviously he's Irish, isn't it? He's going to play internationals all the time. That bumps up the prices. Again, Lee, the 65 million Havertz was a mistake. And I'm trying not to think about it. The timber was unfortunate. But again, if we get a genuine left back, but we had one in Tierney, but maybe he wasn't a perfect age. I'll get into the age again. Then why don't we keep Tavares then? And we've got coaches there. You train them. That's what Pep does. Trains defenders. But anyway, a left back, a goalkeeper if we're selling Ramsdale, because I can't see him being happy as a number 2. If we sell Partey, you need to replace him, central midfielder. But again, who in January? Would we leave it to the summer? I think Tukameni would be able to get out of Real Madrid. There's been behind the scenes madness. Cam Meninga's already said to be really pissed off. Do you know what I mean? Real Madrid want to buy superstars in the summer. They couldn't get they had 3 targets last year. Bellingham, which they got. Mbappe, which hopefully again next season, and Alphonso Davies. They want the same people next year, or January, or next summer. Go help them out. Like we helped Chelsea out with money. Let's go and help out Real Madrid. Give them 60 million. Tukameni, Kameninga. Wingers, they're all over the world. We need an actual one. Rafinha, Barcelona. Even though he annoys me, brilliant player. Antonio Nusa, 17-year-old. He's Norwegian. Well, our skipper should be telling him to come to Arsenal. He's Norwegian, you know what I mean? Or Haaland getting to Man City. We've got to act fast on these guys. They play for Club Brugge in Belgium. Bros, we got to act fast. And that's where I get pissed off at the club, bros. There's so many good young players that I was naming. Osman Diomande. Who was for some of the players I was saying I'd want at the club ideally the other day? Diomande, Nusa, sorry. And Kantika, that striker at PSG. Bros, there's fucking loads of players, you know what I mean? You can do it with young, experienced, any way you like, mate. There's loads of ways to skin this. So, sorry, guys. So, yeah. Guys, I'm going to get out of here. 51 minutes on the clock. I can't believe it's been quite perfect to stream because I'm streaming from my phone as there was an internet problem. And I'm feeling your pain, bros, but that's what I'm saying. Is it decent management? He just needs to admit the mistake. If Havertz is a mistake, bros, you drop him now. The ruthless streak, like with Ramsdale. The reason we are all here is because we love this football club. Yep, it's very close to our hearts, and we all want what's best for the club. And that's what I'm saying. It's the silly mistakes that I can't understand. And that's what deep down kills the club. It's the silly little mistakes that we continue to make. I don't want Ramsdale to go for a second. But if it means financing someone good for the club, if we got 65 mil and we can go now buy a decent striker at 65 mil or put 65 mil in towards a decent striker, I embrace it, guys. Party may have to, yeah, but again, mate, he's not in the plans. Arteta's decided he don't like him. I think it's probably more to do with his personal life. That could be the reason why he ain't been sold permanently. And there was something, remember in America, he couldn't get out. I think it was something to do with his visa. And then him and Sione come late in America. I remember telling WB, do you remember WB? Remember I said, when they turned up late, they were setting up with it. I knew that day there, honestly, KT and Party were never going to have a future at Arsenal. Just for going to America late, whatever the reasons was. Arsenal's like having a crackhead wife who you love and stick by because you think one day she'll sort herself out. Bet she never does. That's brilliant, Lee Hakers, isn't it? I love you, Lee. That's brilliant. Arsenal's like having a crackhead wife, you know. You know that, innit? I did compare it myself last night to like the one that cheats, but I know they'll cheat on me. So I'll fuck them up. I'm joking. I'll fuck up the geezer. But on that note, guys, I said for my bait to call me from the old prison at 11:15, and it is 11:16. So I'm going to get out of here. Lee Hakers, I love you, bro. You're the man of the match. Shouts out to Jean RB, Phil, Heather, Linda, Joe Montana, all the real ones who's been in the stream today. Thanks for the love as always, guys. It was a mad one. I knew when I didn't get the stream out there advertised it would be a bit quiet. But guys, thank you for the love. I love you all. Peace out. God bless. I will catch you tomorrow. Oh God, I'm sure Steven's internet or a box will arrive tomorrow. His brand new BT or EE or wherever it is. His new super fast, super fuckery broadband will be in the building tomorrow. So normal service, guys. Brentford v Arsenal, Caravan Cup. Who knows? We might have Manny in this stream. He might not be able to get it from India. I don't know if it's live. Who knows? We'll sort that out tomorrow. People, good night. I will be live tomorrow, one way or another. Brentford v Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners. Let's see if Toney's in the stadium. I want to go to Arsenal. Peace out, people. Respect.